All right, welcome back to another episode of Just an Introvert podcast. I'm Abbie,
And I'm Amy.
and we are back for some more fun. Before we get started, Halloween just happened. So, how was your Halloween, Amy?
It was great.
Yes.
I wasn't sure if we were going to pass out candy, but Riley has been student teaching and has made some connections with their students. And they somehow found out like the area we lived or the address. Anyway, so she said, I think I want to pass out candy because they might come by.
Yeah.
I told her, I said, if you want to pass out candy, I'll do it with you, but I just did
Yeah.
not want to do it by myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was fun. Leading up to it, um, teaching. I really enjoy teaching in the month of October. I have a lot of fun shirts to wear at school. I have
Yeah.
a lot of fun music lessons, and I don't even mind teaching on Halloween, because kids are so excited, and I'm just, you just go with it. You just
Yeah.
know it's crazy.
Have to embrace it.
But it was a lot of fun. Yeah, she had some students come by. They were so excited to see her. We kind of tag teamed. She would give the candy, I'd hold the dog's collar, and we did that. And yeah, it was good. So how about
Very
you?
cool. Yeah, it was good. Jane went to school in her costume and she was very excited. And of
Love
course, then
that.
Owen had to wear his costume to drop
Of
her off. So they
course.
were both in their costumes. That was fun.
Of
Um,
course.
yeah, after we it ended up being a crazy day, we picked them up from school.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, we were gonna swing by my in-laws on the way to my parents' house to like show the kids their costumes. So I'm like,
Yeah.
let's just swing by McDonald's real quick, get a little protein before we all eat an insane amount of sugar.
Yes.
So I was like, we got our order in, did the curbside option. A couple of us had to run and go to the bathroom. So I'm like, okay, Randall, park the car, we'll run in. I'm like on it, efficient, feeling great. And then we come back out to the car. It takes a while. It was very busy. And takes a while for them to bring our food. The lady comes out. I'm like looking at her walking towards us. I'm like, I don't know that that's our food. Or not all of it at least. And she was like, oh, I
Uh-huh.
think we're missing a Happy Meal. We're like, okay. So she goes back in, comes back out, brings the other Happy Meal, is asking me, we didn't have any drinks. I was like, yeah, we have four
Mm.
drinks. So we're like going back and forth. It was crazy in there. Ended up giving us the complete wrong order. We did get
Oh
the kids'
no.
Happy Meals and our drinks, but like I went back in the restaurant and was talking with someone. She was like, oh, what do you, and I'm trying to show her on the mobile app, but it doesn't break everything. It was just like a disaster and we're all hangry at this point because we waited to eat lunch.
Yeah.
And as I'm talking to this one gal, I see someone else in the background walking out to like the curbside area, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure she has our order right there. So then I like went over to her, and I'm like, we should have just grabbed that, and we had already gotten into some of the other food because again we were hungry. So it's just like an absolute mess. But I was also like, these people are in there getting yelled at and they're working their butts off. So I was like, you know
Oh,
what? It is what it is. We got as
yes.
much as we needed, and then we had an insane amount of food. We probably got more than we paid for. So like it all ended up, but it was just like the kids and the costumes. Like when I picked up Jane from school, she literally made it halfway to the car because she had a lion costume. So it was like
Uh-huh.
thick and, it was
Yeah.
hot that day. She gets halfway to the car. She's like, I have to take this off. Sits on the floor, starts taking off her costume. I mean, they were just like, both of them were like excited to wear their stuff and then didn't want to wear it. And it's too hot. And. So then we finally make it to Modesto. It took like an hour and a half from picking up
Oh,
Jane from school
oh
to get to
no.
Modesto. So we'd been in the car. It was a lot. But then we got to my parents, we hung out, and then we went over to your house, which was super
Yes, you did.
fun.
It was so fun to see them. And I
Yes.
I had a xylophone costume. I
Yeah.
won. When I realized it was you guys, I was like, I gotta get it on
Yeah.
right away.
I
So
wondered why it took so long to answer the door, but that
it
makes
was
sense.
so
That's cute.
cute. But it was fun because we were looking at the
Oh my God.
our camera, and we'll have to share just a little clip
I was gonna
of
say,
Owen
yes.
walking up.
Oh my gosh. It was like as we were
Adorable.
walking up, a few things happened, and I'm like, I really hope we're close enough that this is captured on the camera. And sure enough, so I'm gonna have to clip that and post it in our stories because it was just a great series of events. And yeah,
It was so funny. So
yeah.
yeah, it was fun to see you guys, and yeah, so it
Yes.
was good, and I loved that Halloween fell on a Friday,
Oh, yeah,
and
that
the
made it
next
easy.
day, because the day after Halloween teaching is
Oh,
not my
it's
favorite
got to be
because
worse than the day of Halloween because there's no way those kids are functioning.
yeah, and they're super quiet, which I guess is nice, but they're
Right.
grumpy.
Yeah.
They're just nobody wants to be there.
No. No.
So it's just as well that
Right.
everybody got to sleep it off and,
Yep.
be refreshed for the next week.
Yep. Exactly. Oh man.
So,
Fun
yeah.
stuff. All right,
But
so we'll go ahead and get into it. So
okay.
I'm gonna start off with my icebreaker. I
Okay.
swear, every time right before we start recording, Amy and I are always like, this is the moment where we forget everything. And we're like, what do we do? I'm like, everything's going through my brain. Is it awkward
Yes.
moment? No, no, icebreaker. That's what I do.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
I know.
Anyways, on theme for our episode, what is the longest plane flight you've ever been on, and where was it to?
Okay. The longest plane flight, I want to say it was to Japan.
Hmm. Okay.
I might need to double check with Niles, but I think that's our longest.
Okay.
And do I remember how long it was?
Was
Well,
it
I'll
was
tell
it
you in a
one flight?
minute.
Because it goes.
Oh, you
Because I
know
remember
what?
the first time Niles went to Japan, I was young and I had the like duh moment of you don't go completely around the earth, you go across the
Yeah.
ocean, like go that way. So it
Right.
has to be a direct flight then, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. So whether we maybe, yeah, I kind of think it was a direct flight.
Yeah.
Um, I'm looking it up because I'm terrible with details. If Niles was on here, he would give you
He
all the
would know right
details
away.
you needed to. Okay, I don't want to know the prices. I want to know how long. Sorry, just this is
You're fine.
super
Google is
interesting
a
stuff for you guys. Okay, it's 11 to 12 hours. So
okay.
that sounds
Yeah.
about right.
Yeah.
And I do remember we left like 2 days after your wedding.
Wow, that's
So
right. That's
we, yeah,
right.
yeah. So, but yeah, I think that's our
Yeah.
longest. I mean, we've been to Europe, but I don't think the flights were as long as Japan. Japan was
Right.
definitely the
Right.
longest. So
Yeah.
yeah, how about you?
Our longest flight was to Australia when
Oh,
we went.
that's a
Yep.
long one.
And our flights to Australia were like nonstop direct, and it's like 15 hours.
Oh my, okay,
Yeah.
that's
That was like looking back, it just feels like such a time warp of like we sat on a plane for 15 hours. Like it's just so crazy. I
mhm,
don't think because we did it all through like a travel agent, I don't think we had the option to do. I would have loved to have like stopped somewhere just for the fun of even being at an airport and somewhere like in Europe or whatever. But I don't
mhm,
know if that was cheaper, more efficient, whatever. But yeah, I was like, okay,
yeah,
we are on the flight for the whole time. I remember we downloaded all the Star Wars movies and watched a bunch of
yeah,
those, and like it was crazy. And then on the way back, because we flew out of LA and then we flew from LA to, I think Brisbane was the first place we went. But on the way back, we were leaving from Sydney and we were going to
mhm.
fly from Sydney to LA. And if you are a Lost fan, you know why I was like, I don't know how I feel about flying from Sydney to LA. But last minute it got switched and we flew to Oakland, I think, instead. So I was like, okay, it's
Okay.
fine. Everything's going to be fine. But
Everything's gonna be
yeah.
good.
Yeah,
That's so
my dad and
fun.
I joked we're like if any of the lost numbers are on the flight information, like I'm
Yeah.
canceling it. I can't do it. But
No, no.
thankfully we avoided the superstitious flight, but
That's funny. Yeah, that's one place I'd like to go. But yeah,
hmm
that is quite a flight. And
very long.
I'm someone that can, it's funny because I sort of have a little bit of fear of flying, not
Yeah.
enough to not keep me from flying, but I'm a little nervous. And there's always one point in every flight I've ever taken that I just go, we are thousands and thousands of miles up in the air. And this
Yeah,
plane, what if the engine just stops? And
right?
I just have a mini panic attack every time. And
Yep.
it's in the middle of the flight. And then I'm okay. It
Yeah.
happens every time.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but after so many hours, even if I'm comfortable and I have all the movies and books in the world, at some point you're just like, I gotta get off this plane.
Yes.
I gotta get out
Yes.
of this seat. I can't do this anymore.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, no, I feel the same way. Even short flights, you're like, okay, I have that same thing where I'm like, and I'm like, don't think about it. Don't, especially we went to Arizona
Yeah.
this last month and being with the kids. You have this moment of like, how would I survive a plane crash with my children? I'm like, nope, no, 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 no. We got to stop that.
Yeah.
Stop that train of thought right now because that's not helpful. And like my kids are all excited. I'm over here like, oh, this is great. But
Yeah,
yeah.
and you have to be the one that's,
Uh-huh.
yeah, you're doing great,
It
honey.
it
And
was
yeah.
really funny. Owen was just like, "We're in the sky. This is cool." Jane, I have a picture of her. She sat and read the entire safety pamphlet front to back. She like pulls it out of the pocket and starts reading it, and I'm like, "How am I going to explain this? She's going to freak out." And she's like, "What's that?" I'm like, "Well, this is if you just go into water, but we're not flying over
Oh,
water, so it's fine." She's like, "Oh, okay, cool." But she sat there so intensely and had to read the whole thing. But
oh, well, good
uh,
for her.
I
Like, she
right?
should be the reference person. Hey, Jane's read it. Jane, can you tell me where are the flotation devices
Right.
again? Because I
Oh my
wasn't paying
gosh.
attention.
Exactly. Oh, that's so funny.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Uh, but yeah.
All right. So the would you rather, I was inspired by Kirk's suggestion last time. So I
hmm
kind of went on the same theme.
Okay.
We've been making a lot of trips to Costco lately
Okay.
just because we have one closer to us.
Yeah.
And so, would you rather grab one of those rolling carts
Okay.
and just have a bunch of bananas on there and that's it and push it around the store to the checkout
Okay.
line?
Okay.
Or a regular cart, but have like 5 or 6 packs of water and like toilet paper, things stacked so high that you can't even see when you're pushing it. Like it's
I
clearly too small.
Yep, I would do the bananas on the big cart
Bananas.
because I feel like you could be like, "Oh, this is the only one they had," or come up with something. But yeah, no. Mostly because I would run into to everyone. I feel like we've talked about this before, how for some reason in Costco,
Yes.
no one remembers any rules of how to
Yeah.
function or drive. So I feel like it's already a recipe for disaster, and adding a full cart like that, you'd be screwed. So
Yeah.
yeah, I would choose the small cart for sure, or the small things in a big cart for sure.
In a big like,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know why. I saw someone pushing one and I just imagined, what if you just had like bananas on there? And it just was making myself laugh.
Oh,
So I'm
that's so
like,
funny.
but yeah, I'm trying to think. I would probably do that too because I'd be like, well, people don't know if I'm going to grab something
That's
else.
true. That's true.
Whereas if you have all those things piled higher, people are going to be like,
Like,
well, what
what's
an
wrong with
idiot.
her? Yep. Yep. Yeah, for sure. Oh my gosh. Oh, all right.
Uh,
So we are going to be talking about introverts on vacation this
mhm.
episode. I feel like after this episode, I'm gonna want to take a vacation. I'm just gonna be like, what should I do
Yes.
next?
Hmm.
So we kind of wanted to break down different parts of the trip vacation process.
Hmm.
So we'll start with planning a vacation. I know you are married to the most efficient and incredible vacation planner I have ever met. So is it safe to assume you don't have to do a lot of planning on your end just because of your situation? Or do you think that could be introvert extrovert dynamics? What do you think?
This is true. I have absolutely nothing to do with the planning.
Yep.
Um, I love that for me
Yep.
because Niles loves doing that. So
Yeah.
it's never a burden. He gets excited. I feel like it's kind of like when I get super excited to shop clearance sales,
Uh-huh.
he gets as excited to find all these deals for
Yes.
traveling. And so he does all the planning. In
hmm
fact, a lot of times after Christmas break or during Christmas break, he'll get the laptop out. And when I see him get the laptop out, I'm like, oh, he's looking for a vacay. I'm like, here we go. I get so excited and I don't even care.
Yeah.
I'm just going, where are we going?
Yep.
And he does it all. I mean, of course he'll talk to me about it. He
Yeah.
likes to talk through things, I realize.
Yes.
And sometimes I get overwhelmed, like, I don't know. But then I realize, no, he just likes to talk it out loud. You know,
Yes.
extroverts, that's just how
Yeah.
they process things.
Yep.
But yeah, I do not plan anything. If I was in charge of planning,
hmm
we would just be getting like things that were already like group
Like
travel.
a
I could not
yes.
navigate by
All
myself
the
like
individual
Niles
stuff. Yeah.
does. That would
Yeah.
scare me to death. So,
Yeah.
yeah, so he does it all. So,
Yep.
how about you guys?
I feel like I end up doing a lot of the planning. A lot of it is Randall's much more just kind of like go with the flow. He's cool with whatever. I think I'm a little bit more of like the planner and I can be a little
Uh-huh.
more I hate saying type A because I don't feel like I'm always like that, but I think a lot of people would describe me that way. So I'll just accept it. But I feel like having that control and planning and like figuring it out,
Hmm.
I think there's an element of I like the routine and like I'm not big on surprises and unexpected. Like I want to kind of know.
Hmm.
So having that kind of control in my hands of like, okay, this is what we're gonna do and this is where we're gonna stay. Like I enjoy that.
Yeah.
But like our Australia trip, like I said, we went through a travel agent and she planned everything and sent us the itinerary. And that was like, that was amazing because I'm like,
That's
I don't
awesome.
know anything, especially with a country I've never been to. Like there's a
Hmm.
lot of dynamics that I'm like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this. So,
Yeah.
for that, in that instance, it was really nice. But a place that I'm familiar with, like if we did Australia again, or we like to go to Arizona a lot, those ones, I'm like, I can do a pretty good job of figuring things out because I'm like, okay, I remember this place or this hotel or this
Yeah.
restaurant, whatever. So yeah, I like being involved in the planning or doing it myself just so I kind of know, okay, what are we expecting? And I also think I like to have a balance of so I always describe it like this. There's trips and there's vacations. I learned this later in life and it made so much
Hmm.
sense because I
Hmm.
think specifically my mom is more, and maybe this has changed, but I feel like growing up it was more of like a trip. Like, okay, we've got all these things planned and we're going to do this, this, and this. I'm like, sometimes I just want to go on vacation. Like, I just want to go somewhere and relax and not be at home and not be working and not be doing those things
Hmm.
and just chill. So I think there's a big difference with those. So again, having that balance and the expectation of, okay, I know I'm gonna have some time built in for just like recharging, being by myself, and
Hmm.
like because if I don't plan that in and it doesn't happen, then I'm not gonna enjoy my trip at all.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That makes sense. I I am a go, go, go. And I think it has to do a little bit with my undiagnosed ADHD. I'm kind of like that just in general. I'm always, things are, ideas are always flying through my head,
Yeah.
or I'm constantly, if I sit down to do a show, I'm not just watching the show, I'm
Right.
organizing my pictures or I'm doing stuff at the same time. And so when we travel, I'm like, okay, let's go here. And I think I just like to, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just like to be busy. And Niles is the same way. We're kind of go, go, go. And our poor daughter is not like that. And so we've had many vacations where she's begrudgingly
Yeah. It's like,
going along,
bye.
probably
Yeah.
wishing she was on a beach
Yep.
and just sitting there.
Yep.
I would like to experience that as well. As I'm getting older, that would be a type of vacation I probably should, do a little more in my
Yeah.
life, but I still enjoy doing the busy stuff, and Niles and
Right.
I are kind of on the same wavelength in that sense. Like we'll do busy stuff, and then we both like to, like, say, hike and then shop and then eat, and then we kind of have a routine where we both, you know we like the same thing, so it really,
Yeah.
works, complements for us.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I need to do one of those like Mexico trips where you're just
Like the all
all
inclusive, just
inclusive and
yes.
just sitting there. And we've experienced that a little on cruises, when
Hmm.
you're on the ship days, just
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
to
Yep.
eat and chill.
Yep. Yeah.
So
No, I think, um, yeah, I think having kind like again, not necessarily taking over the planning, but being able to know, okay, what's expected and what's
yeah.
even like flights and traveling, that end of things. I'm like, I want there to be a little buffer of time. I don't like the rush of like, we got to get here and go here. Like, I'd rather there be a little bit of wasted time in between. I think that's partially my anxiety, but like,
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not about to be running through an airport trying to catch a flight. I'm like, no, none of that interests me. I will get there really early. I will sit and have a meal at the gate. Like, I would much rather
Hmm.
do that than
Yes.
rushing and trying to get there. Like,
Oh
that
yeah.
stresses me out too much too.
No, I agree.
But
I
I
gotta have that
also,
time.
I don't know how often you've done this, but when I was coming back and forth from college, when I'd fly by myself,
Hmm.
I really enjoyed just like sitting in an airport by myself like people watching, sitting in the
Hmm.
corner, even being on the flight. I really enjoy that. I feel like that's kind of an introvert thing, being able to be
Yes.
alone in
Yes.
a crowded, busy place. I don't know if you're similar or had that experience, but I really love that.
Yeah. No, it is fun. I'm finding, and even as I get older, I do enjoy that a little bit more.
Yeah.
Even like at, theme parks,
Yes.
Disneyland, like just sitting and just kind of
Yep.
watching and yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. But
Yeah.
I've only flown by myself, I think once.
Oh wow.
Um, and that was with Riley, and she was like 2.
Oh
And
gosh.
I don't know. I mean, I survived it, but I'm a passenger princess. I need someone else to be walking ahead and leading the way for me.
Yes. Yep,
I
I
just
get
I,
that.
I just haven't had to like I've just always had Niles in my life to do that for me. So I
Yes.
just don't and if I've ever traveled without him, maybe with someone else, then I have to be more on it. And that's just like, oh,
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't
it's
like this
exhausting.
part.
No,
So
no.
anyway,
It's
I know
almost like
I
a muscle that you don't have exercise. You're
yeah,
like, if I had to, I can do it, but I just
yes.
don't have to, so I choose not to. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yep.
Yep.
100%.
Do you prefer like road trip versus flying? Do you have a preference or is it situational?
It's situational. I like both.
Yeah.
We, with the kids were young, we did a lot of road trips and we did a
Mm-hmm.
lot going with Niles' parents. So we
Mm-hmm.
always, had a, decent group to help with the
Yeah.
kids and stuff. And it was a lot of fun because there's some things that on a road trip you just can't do when you fly. You
Yes.
can see things along the way. You make a lot of interesting stops.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but at the same time, flying to a faraway place is fun too. So like I
Yeah.
don't have one preference over the other. I
Yeah.
I I can do both and enjoy both. So
Yeah.
how about you?
I think it's situational for me. Like
Yeah.
I do, so there's a running joke in my immediate family because so many, like I'd say it's 50-50 in my family of people that get extremely car sick and those who
Oh.
don't. Like growing up, we always had a saying, it's not a McCall car trip until someone throws up. Specifically, my older brother and my younger sister, they get like in
Uh,
town, they can get car sick. So
oh
that
boy.
was then, of course, me and Ben, the middle children, were like, oh, we always have to sit in the back because they get car sick and they get to sit
Of
in the front. That was always a thing too.
course.
Um, but so I think there was times that I was like complain and I was like, I don't want to drive. But now that I'm an adult, I do enjoy a road trip because we going to college in Arizona, we drove a decent amount of times and we would
Mhm.
drive through the night. That
Yeah.
became, I think, my sophomore year of college. We were heading back from home to Arizona and it was
Uh-huh.
like we were gonna get up and leave at like 4 or 5 in the morning. And I totally remember my mom was like packing her stuff. She was in her room, and my brother and I, John, were like, "What if we just drove? What if we just left at night and drove all night?" We're like, "Yeah, let's do it." And so we knock on my mom's door, and she opens the door. We're like, "Hey, mom!" And she, I remember the look on her face. She was so bombarded by these two like
Oh, that's
teenagers who were like,
funny.
"Let's drive all night." And she was like, what? We're like, no, no, we can do it. We can totally do it. And she's like, okay. And we did. And then that just became the tradition. We did it every time.
That's
And I really
awesome.
liked that. I think
Yeah.
I like the late at night driving and just like kind of that. Sometimes it can be scary depending on where you're driving, but like just
Yeah.
there not being many other people on the road. Like I really
Hmm.
enjoyed that for that trip specifically. But
Yeah.
and then we do like our trips to like if we drive to Monterey or San Francisco, like those are just sentimental because the
Yeah.
area we live in, you can drive an hour and a half and get pretty much anywhere.
Right.
But yeah, I do think like there is some fun in flying, especially with the kids, like having their first flying experiences, like that's fun. But it is sucky because you're like, well, if my kid has a meltdown, like everyone on the plane has to deal with
We
it.
are, yeah,
So,
totally
yeah.
nowhere to go. Yeah.
Yep. Yep, there's no pulling over and taking a breather and yeah, so
Right.
I think it
Well,
depends.
and also road trips, I speak in a place of passenger princess. Now, if I was the one in charge of the driving, I don't and navigating new places, I
Yeah.
wouldn't enjoy it.
Yeah.
Niles enjoys it so much and literally can be somewhere for 5 minutes one time and then know just the whole layout of the city just from
Yeah.
that. And that I enjoy it when I don't have to have the
Yes.
stress of navigating and driving.
Yes. Yeah. No, I get
So,
that. I get that.
but yeah, we did quite a bit of driving for Alex to get him
Mm-hmm.
back to school. And that was, well, I was going through a lot of perimenopause
Yeah.
symptoms and just, son moving away.
Yeah.
So it was, and then the beginning of school having to start right when I got home. So that
Yes.
was kind of like,
That's wild.
uh,
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
not my favorite road trip.
Yes.
And we didn't have time to stop and do stuff. It was like we had to get there and get
Get
back.
there, get
But
back. Yeah. Yeah.
but yeah, I agree with you. Situational. I like both. Just depends.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
So
For
yeah.
sure. All right. And then on the actual vacation trip time, like what are your like must do when it comes to being an introvert? What do you feel like are things that you really like to put into a trip or plan for or work around those kind of things?
Well, when I pack for a trip, I'm funny because I don't just throw things in. I have to know outfits. I have to know if things work with each other.
Yep.
So these three shirts can go with this one pair of shorts. I will sit and try stuff on. I will try on my jewelry. I will think about my hairstyles. Like I'm not just a throw it in and
Yeah.
figure it out. I have a plan before we go.
Yep.
And I don't tend to overpack because I
Hmm.
kind of know what I'm going to be wearing. And then when I get to a destination, um, I think I just like to document it. So
Yeah.
I like to I do a lot of videoing and
Hmm.
pictures, and that's important to me. Like, we have a joke that Niles plans a trip and I document it.
Yeah.
People will ask me details of the trip. I'm like, I'm gonna be honest. I just go, where are we going?
Yep.
Just drive me there, and then once
Yep.
I get there, I'll document it and I'll
Yep.
explain everything once we're there, but don't ask me the details before.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I just like to, yeah, I just want to share my journey. I think it's fun because I like going on journeys with other people
Yeah.
on social media, and so I tend to do what
That's
I
cool.
like to see.
Yeah.
So those
Yeah,
are
for
those are
sure.
things that I like. How about you?
Before I say I have to shout out the one of my favorite videos of all time when you guys were in Italy. You were with my parents and every day you did your like what we ate, what we did, and then there was the day that you were sick, and so everyone
Oh,
filled in and
oh my
did
gosh.
a video in your like cadence and mannerisms and it was so perfect. It was so funny. I remember that one. Like that whole trip, like Randall and I every night we're like, okay, let's watch Amy's video of what she did today. Like we loved because like it's getting to see my parents and like
Yeah.
Alex and Riley, like, that was so fun. So that day we laughed so hard. That was such a great, they did so, I don't remember who all was in the video, but they all did
Well, I think it was
fantastic.
Niles, Riley. I'm sure Alex. I
I
know
think
your
my mom,
mom.
yep, yep,
And even just when they would take a bite, they would kind of do
yes.
what I did. And yeah, that was this fun surprise for me because I was really bummed because I'm like, well, I can't document
Yeah.
Barcelona because we're there one day. So
Yeah.
so that was so fun for me. I got a huge kick out of that.
And then
So
I also, I don't know if this is true. You'll have to verify if it is, but watching all those videos, like hearing your tone of voice, I'm picturing you voicing over, whatever it is, like in your hotel bathroom while Niles is sleeping, because it was like you're kind of whispering and echoey, and that's
how
always what I pictured. Is that
wh-
accurate?
how did you get footage of me in my in my
Because I'm just
hotel room?
picturing Niles passed out, and you're like, okay, I got to do this voiceover. Let me go.
Did it seriously. And I want to sound like I'm, like happy and blah blah blah, but I gotta be quiet, but I don't want it to sound too whispery. And
Yes.
yeah, and
That's so
yes.
funny. Okay, well, I'm glad
So
I figured that out.
and
But
it's like a little job for me, but it's one that I enjoy
oh
doing.
yeah.
So
Oh
it's
yeah.
not like a chore.
Yeah.
It's fun for me, and so that tends to keep me busy. So we're
Yeah.
after a full day of, going around here. When we come back to the hotel, I don't just crash. Then I put these videos together. So I don't know. I
Yes.
think it's just my my just busy, I got to be busy
Yeah.
all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, that's,
That's
that was fun.
hilarious.
That was so fun.
Uh,
I loved that.
that's cool. Okay. For me, I feel like a huge part of going on a trip or vacation is having like wherever I'm staying, like having my setup as much as I can. Like I
Yeah.
am, and people I've traveled with who are listening right
Hmm.
now have teased me mercilessly, but I don't
Yeah.
care. When I get to a hotel or an Airbnb, I am unpacking my clothes into the drawers and it's going to be organized and it's going to be nice and I'm going to have a designated dirty clothes pile and it just helps me relax. I think I was staying with my sister, it was like one night and she was teasing me and I was like, "No, don't make fun of me. This is just what I do. This makes me feel at home. This makes me feel like
Yes.
the space is organized. I gotta have, where am I gonna set my stuff on my bedside table? Where am I gonna like the whole thing? I have to like set it up. Where am I gonna put all my toiletries in the bathroom? Am I gonna put stuff in the shower? Is there a drawer? Like I love that. Randall's learned to just like let me, he's like, you have to look at every drawer and go through all the things. And I'm like, yep. And it just makes me so happy. Like, I could not go on a trip and live out of a suitcase. That would stress me out so
Hmm.
much. Like, it's like I have to, I don't feel like I can fully relax and be on vacation until I've gotten my stuff settled. And I'm like, okay, we're here. Now we can enjoy it. So,
Yes.
like, that is step one for me on
Yeah.
every trip. Again, no matter how long or where we're at, that's always how I have to start. But
Nice.
yeah. But I think, like I said, with planning, like building in some breaks and some like free time, some time just to like relax.
Hmm.
Because I feel like it's so easy to just get excited and want to fill every day with everything.
Hmm.
And that was one of the really cool things about our Australia trip, because that's probably the only like big trip that I've gone on.
Hmm.
Um, was I feel like the gal that planned it had a lot of like it would be like the first day because we spent like 3 days in each because we went to 4 different cities and I think we spent like 3 days in each city. That sounds about right. So it was like the first 2 days were planned and like going to this place or all these things and then the third day was just kind of like walk, enjoy, figure out the city, which was nice
That's
because I'm
so
like,
nice.
if there's places we want to go back to, or oh hey, we heard about this thing, or like having that built in was really, really nice um to not just be so booked that you're like, okay, I want to take a break, but I don't want to miss out on these things. So
Yeah. Yeah.
um and no matter how like structuring that in somewhere to just like have a day to sit and relax and enjoy being there is big
Yes.
for me.
Yeah. That's huge. Now you're talking about when you get to the hotel. I was thinking back to that. And so I'm funny because I'm very much keep everything in my suitcase and even my
Okay.
dirty clothes, I refold and make space because I know when it's time to repack,
Yep.
it's not hard. Whereas, the rest of my family is, the dirty clothes they'll shove them into a bag, but I'm like, how's
Yep.
it going to fit back into your
Mm-hmm.
suitcase? And so I'm
Mm-hmm.
always the one kind of I picking up and just putting things certain places and figuring out where the suitcase works best for this person and who the plugs.
Yeah.
Going into mom mode with that.
Yes.
But I remember
Yes.
one time, so I did that so much, and then I remember when Niles and I took you and Jonathan to Disneyland,
Mm-hmm.
and we had the hotel room, and I just kind of like let go of that. I went, you know what? I'm just gonna throw things on the floor and Niles was like, well, that's not typical of you. Like, and I'm like, I just want a break for one trip. I'm letting
Right?
loose. You should be going, wow, good job, Amy. It's not being so tight wound and just,
Like, what's wrong with you? Oh, that's so funny. Oh my gosh.
yeah, it's interesting to hear how different people,
Yeah.
when they get there, some just like throw their suitcase in the corner, lay on the bed, and others, you got to have it in the setup.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. No, I gotta have my setup. The other thing I was gonna say, I forgot to mention before, like planning trip.
Hmm.
Okay, how I'm someone who like, and I get this from my dad, before we go on a trip, like
Yeah.
I have to have the house clean. I have to have the dishes done. Like I have to prep the house to come home to like a clean house. I don't know if that's again, just a learned thing from Kirk, or what do you do housewise to prep for a trip?
That is a dream of mine. I want to be that
Yeah,
person, but I don't live with the most organized people in my household.
fair.
And at some point in my life, I just kind of gave up. Now, if we have someone coming over, I am a little self-conscious, so I try to pick up, but yeah, I want to be that person, but a lot of times it just doesn't happen.
Yeah, yeah.
Not because I don't want it not to happen, but just
And to be honest, there's a lot of times that I wish I could be that person that was just like, it is what it is, it's fine. But I'm like, if I know that the laundry's not done, I'm gonna be stressed on my trip about it. And
yeah.
and I hate that about my brain, but it is what it is.
I think
Um,
I used to do that a lot more when the kids were little.
yeah,
I just have a different energy now
yeah,
as at my age.
yeah,
And I don't know what it is. Uh, I don't know. But
yeah,
I used to be more
yeah.
when my kids were little
Have
like
everything
that. So,
set. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. That was not vacations by any means, but that was always the nice thing about having scheduled inductions
Oh,
with
yeah.
having kids is I remember before Jane, it was like, okay, we know when we're gonna be there. We got the house cleaned, like everything was ready. The lot like knowing that the thought of having to just like pick up in the middle of the night or whatever and just go to the
Yes.
hospital and you're like, everything's a mess. I'm like, oh, but it was nice to have it all. Um, yeah, that
That
was
is
a nice pro to being induced was I can at least have my my clean house to come home to, however long that lasts. But
yes.
yeah,
Okay, this is a side note, not about travel, but I am funny about like if I'm going to do something in the kitchen, I can't do anything until like the dishwasher's been emptied and
yeah,
reloaded. And I know my family's like, can we just do this? I'm like, no, we can't. I have to have everything, all this stuff done.
yes,
And I remember listening to someone I follow, and she said she was describing her husband doing the same thing
yeah,
and it driving her nuts. And I'm like, okay, it was interesting to hear from the other person's perspective because I'm like,
yes,
okay, I can understand how that would be a little bit
yeah,
annoying.
yep,
But anyway, but
yeah,
yes, I really do wish I could have my house picked up, but to be honest, I don't, and it is what it is.
yep, yep. Totally fair, totally fair. Oh
Oh,
man. Okay, I'm trying to think of things on like what do you think parts of trips that are like introvert friendly versus like an introvert's nightmare?
well, I was thinking about like navigating somewhere new. So, I travel with an extrovert who
Mm-hmm.
is willing to navigate to go talk to whoever to figure out. And when he's not around, I find it's very, very hard for me to do that.
Yes.
So I have one thing. So before I went to Europe with my family, I went with Kirk, your dad,
Mm-hmm.
and my mom. We went on a trip to Germany and Italy.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember when we were in Italy, I went on a tour bus by myself. It wasn't very far. I don't
Yeah.
know if my mom came back early or your dad. And I was just riding back. And there was a stop, and they said, if you want to see the Trevi Fountain, you can get off and look. And I was like, it's probably like right around the corner, but I do not want to leave this bus. I can't do it, even though I
Yeah.
probably I just don't want to navigate trying to come back to my spot. That scares me so
Yep.
much. Yeah, I find that those kind of things really pull me out of my comfort zone.
Yes.
And it's hard to avoid that when you're in new places, and especially in a country that, is a different country.
Yes.
But yeah, but how about you?
Yeah,
What is
I
your,
that story reminds me of when we were on our Australia trip, we were at a like there was multiple cities had like beautiful botanical gardens, like really, really
Mhm.
cool. And I think with one of them, it was like, okay, we were all on the bus, we got dropped off. You have X amount of time, just meet back at this time or whatever. So we're just like walking through, and it's funny now, but we were definitely like irritated. Well, we were irritated at each other because Randall's like, oh yeah, like he can pull out a map. I am so directionally challenged. I
Same.
it's embarrassing. I'm like, I should know. Like, I can get around Stockton, I can get around Modesto, the places I'm familiar.
Yeah.
But new places, absolutely not. North, south, east, west. Uh,
A what?
what? Okay, cool. That means nothing. Um, so being like again, being in another country already kind of throws things off. And then like, okay, we have X amount of time. I'm like, I don't know. Okay, it's a mile. I don't know how fast I can walk a mile. Like is that too far? Is that too close? And again, I'd rather err on the side of like being, overly safe because I'm like, I don't want to get left. I don't want the bus to leave us.
Hmm.
But Randall was like, no, we have time to do this. And I was like, no, we have to get back to the bus. And it was definitely a very quiet bus ride back because he wanted to see more and was irritated. And I was like, no, we're gonna, it ended up
Yes.
being fine. But now we just joke. I think that was one of the places that when we had a free day, we went back to because we're like, hey, maybe let's go to the botanical gardens and not fight the entire time. Um, and it was so much more fun. But yeah, that
That's
was, and
funny.
it's frustrating because I'm like, to a certain extent, I'm going to be more relaxed and enjoy this if I don't risk it with these things. But I'm also
Yeah.
like, how many things do I miss by
Yeah.
not just like, oh, let's just spontaneously go and try? I'm like, I don't
Yes.
know. Like that makes me anxious. Again, just like being like, what if the bus leaves us and then we're here? And like, how do we get anywhere? Like, do we get a Uber? Do we get, where are we going? Are we going to meet up with the next bus?
Right.
And we did have, we had one time where we missed our first initial bus. And
Hmm.
I can't remember the whole story. Um, but it was something like, I think it was timing. I think we just didn't get there in time. And
Yeah.
then it was like multiple stops on this first, I think it was in Sydney. So it was like stopping at a
Yeah.
few places and then going to like one of the big attractions or whatever. And I think there was
Hmm.
multiple places where people were getting picked up, but we missed our initial pickup. We're
Mm.
like we're figuring out where to go. I can't remember how we knew where to meet up with the bus. So we must have had like a schedule. And
Yeah.
we were there was like this hotel and there was a guy, and again, thank goodness, I don't know that I think I would just be like, forget it, I'm not going to travel today. But Randall's like, okay, let's ask this guy, like the valet guy working at this hotel. And he was
Yeah.
like, yeah, let me get you a car. And we're like, yeah, thank you. Like he totally hooked us up and it was fantastic. But I was like, I would not have asked for help if it wasn't
Yeah.
for Randall. I would have just been like, well, I guess I'm not going to see the opera house. Bummer.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, it's fine. It's too stressful. I'm good.
Yeah. No,
But
I would be the same way if I
yeah.
was on my
Yeah.
own.
I'm like, I can't navigate that. I
No.
cannot like even though they speak English, it's not like a language barrier. It's just like I don't know, like should I ask him? Is he too busy? Is this like culturally
Yes.
inappropriate? I don't know.
Yes.
Like you all those things. So,
Yeah.
I definitely think I probably miss out on some fun stuff doing that, but also
Yeah.
again, I'm like there's days where I'm like I just need to stay in my comfort zone in my bubble
Yes.
and it's okay if I miss some things for that. But
Yeah. No,
yeah.
I'm the same way.
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember when
Yes.
we went to Japan, I was very nervous because I knew it was so different
Yeah.
as compared to like Europe. Europe,
Right.
you look a little more like the population. Um, and for some reason I was really stressed. Um, but I was so pleasantly surprised. The Japanese people are so friendly. They're
Oh,
so warm. Even when there was absolutely no language, they would have all these signs they would hold up, they would point. It was
yeah.
just like I felt so comfortable there. And so that was a really
Yeah.
neat surprise
Yeah.
for how much stress I had going there. And you really
Yes.
do
Yes.
stand out. I remember being on the subway and you just don't think about it. You get your kids on there and then I'm looking around and I'm like, I am the only long blonde haired curly girl right
Yes.
here. I am. And Niles is the only
I was
six
gonna
foot
say, didn't
three.
people take pictures of Niles?
Yes, so we went to Tokyo Disney and we were waiting in the security line
Yeah.
and Niles had these big Oswald ears. So the
Yep. The really
Oswald ears would
tall.
make him even taller. And he wanted to go check something out. So we were
Yeah.
in line and he goes down there and there were so many groups of people just following him taking pictures. It was the funniest
It's
thing
hilarious.
ever. But they're just so excited to take a
Yeah.
picture with you. And like if you want to take a picture with anybody, they will jump in and just,
Oh
you
my gosh.
like you're bothering them at all.
That's so cute.
And so, yeah, it was so funny. And I even like when we would ride on a ride, I remember I was on one of the water rides and, it was a single rider.
Yeah.
And the girls were, um, oh no, I was going to just take a selfie of me.
Hmm.
And, I hold it up and all the girls behind me are just,
Oh,
I'm like, oh, okay.
I guess we're all taking
You're
a
so
picture.
free.
That's
It was so
cute.
cute though. And then they wanted
Oh,
me to be in their picture. So
oh, that's
even though
cool.
we didn't speak the same language, it
Yes.
was just like,
Yes.
it was such a surprise to me
Yeah.
how comfortable
Yes.
it was to be over there. So that was
Yes.
fun.
Because, Germany's not that way. No hate to our German listeners if we have any, but I remember times like you go in and you start, oh, do you speak English? And it was always, yes. I'm like, I know they teach you English. Like, I know you know it and you just hate using it. I'm
Sorry.
so sorry. But I'm so paranoid. I think being an American, and I'm always like Randall thought it was hilarious to do like a real fake cheesy Australian accent on the way.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Oh no.
get that out of your system. You
You're
are
like, no,
not doing that while we are there. I
nope,
was like,
nope.
the German in me came out because I was like, no, we are not doing that. Because I'm like, I don't want to be like annoying Americans because I'm like, I
Yes.
know we do not have the best reputation globally. So I was like, we're not living up to those
Yes.
stereotypes and we like in Australia, they don't do tipping, but we still, I was like, I can't not. Like I have to. I'm like, I have to be a nice American. We can't be horrible people. So yeah, it was that was another stressor, whereas Randall's like, it's fine. And I'm like, no, it's not. You don't understand.
No, I always wanted to tip. I'm like, I know you don't have to, but
Yeah.
I there in some of the like we had a server when we were on the EF tour. I think it was with your
Hmm.
family, and we
Hmm.
stopped in at France. I can't remember it wasn't Paris, but
Yeah.
we had the most adorable waiter, and
Hmm.
we're like, we got to give him a tip.
Yeah.
It was just so fun to do
Yeah.
that. But,
Yeah.
but and
Oh,
shout
that's
out
so
to our German friends. We were not making a
yes.
blanket statement of
We are
everybody.
not. Because again, as Americans, the blanket statements you could make about us are pretty damning. So
Yes.
we are not all the stereotypes of our countries.
No.
So
No, exactly, exactly. But it
uh,
is funny when you blend into a place, how sometimes they assume they start talking and
yep.
then you try to get a word in and then immediately go, oh
Like,
yeah,
never mind.
no, this
Yeah.
American, we got to slow
Yep.
it way down for you.
Yes.
So
Yep.
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. And of course, I'm always nervous I don't want to be wrong, but think about the people that we know here that are trying to speak English. And if you're
Yes.
just scared all the time, you're just never going to talk. And so
Yep.
sometimes you have to do it scared. And so I just
Yep.
look at the people who have had to, speak English when it's not their
Yeah.
first language and just, wow, you're really putting yourself out there.
Yeah.
And, that's just really cool. And I try to think about that sometimes just do it scared, which is
Yes.
hard for an introvert,
It
but
totally is. But I feel like
yeah.
once you have success in something like that, like I was in Mexico, I think it was in high school when I was like taking Spanish and like my Spanish
Hmm.
got pretty good.
Yeah.
And like just forcing myself, just use it, just try. Like for most of the people I interacted with, I'm like, you have enough English and I have enough Spanish, like we'll figure it out. And like
Yes.
by the end of the week, there was a few times they were like, hey Abby, can you translate this for us? I was like, me? What? Like
You're like,
you're like, "Oh, okay,
sure,
okay, that's
of course.
thanks." Yeah, but it's just like the more you do it, the more you're like, okay,
Yes,
like
for sure.
it's scary, but you do it. But yeah, yeah.
Yeah, 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 definitely. So,
Do you have a hard time or are you able to do this? Like if you're on a trip or a vacation with a group and like you just need time by yourself, but everyone wants to go do something, will you sacrifice that time to be a part of the group or are you okay to like, I'm just gonna sit this one out and hang out at the hotel or whatever?
um,
Or do you not
I,
feel that need to do
I,
that?
I have FOMO a lot. Even if I don't want to go, like I'm like, but I don't know. I might be missing out on something.
Yeah.
And so I usually will go.
Yeah.
Um, and there's not a lot of times I feel that way, but even if I did, I I still will usually go because I have
Yeah.
FOMO. How
Yeah.
about you?
I'll sit at the hotel. I'm good. Like I
Yeah.
feel like when I was younger, I definitely was more like, no, like I don't want to miss anything. But now I'm like,
Yeah.
like it's okay. And I learned this from my dad because he was the king of that. And I just have to give him props because it was never in like a mopey, like, because I've heard stories of some people that are like, well, I don't want to do what everyone else is doing. So I'm just gonna sit at
Yeah.
the hotel by myself and be sad. And that's just obnoxious. Like, don't do that. But he was
Yeah.
much more like totally fine. I think that's a really good dynamic of my parents' relationship is like if my mom wants to do something and my dad doesn't, like there's an understanding and
Yeah.
like that's totally fine. So I remember a lot of times my dad, like, nope, I'm gonna hang out here or, if we go anywhere that's near a beach, nope, Kirk does not beach. So he's like, I'll
Yeah.
sit in the car at a coffee shop. But
Yeah.
yeah, I feel like I learned that in a good way and which is nice because I'm like I need that. And I'm like, there's moments that I'm like, oh no, but I'm gonna miss out. But then afterwards, I'm like, I'm so glad the rest of the trip is gonna be so much better for me now that I have this
Yeah.
time to just sit, be by myself, recharge. Like
Hmm.
it makes a huge difference for me. So I have to find ways to get that even in busy
Yeah.
trips. But
I should probably learn to do that
yeah,
more. And I found just in general, I don't like traveling with big groups. As fun
yeah,
as it sounds like when I was younger, oh, I should get all these people to go to
yes,
Disneyland with us. And then you one time do that and you go, oh,
yeah.
everybody wants to do different things. And now
Group
I'm like,
dynamics.
I don't want to travel with big groups at all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
just
I
simply
would.
for that reason,
Yeah,
because there's just too many. And then if you don't have someone who's a good decision maker,
exactly.
it was kind of funny. I remember going with your family, and it was the year that we got sick. Well, Niles and Riley. There was I think you guys were meeting us there, but we splurged, got the Grand California Hotel.
Yep.
We got a deal on it, but got there. Riley was, not quite feeling good, but first line, she throws up.
Oh
And then Niles took her
gosh.
back. And in hindsight, I should have because I started feeling awful and I was by myself with little Alex, who,
Yeah.
yeah. But anyway, all that to say, there was one day that Niles wasn't with us, and he's good at decision and delegation.
Hmm.
And we're just not. A lot of us in the family. And I remember
Yep.
having to take that role and go and
Okay,
make
this is what
just
we're
feel
doing.
bossy. Like,
Yes.
okay, we're going here or we're
Yep.
doing this.
Yep.
And I'm like, I don't like to be like this, but someone has to fill this role.
Yes.
And so,
Okay, speaking of that, I just have to tell this story because it is like so Thanksgiving is at my house this year and
yes.
the extended family is coming. And so I'm like, okay, like let's plan this out and let's make this easy on everyone, be the
Yeah.
people pleaser. Um, So I learned the hard way. This only happens if you have your phone updated, but you can put polls in group chats. So I was like, okay, let's put a bunch of food options. I'll let everyone select what they want so we can kind of get a feel of, I know what I would like to have on the table, but let's be considerate to everyone else. And instead of having 1,000 texts in a group text, because no one likes that, so I had this whole plan. And I'm like, hey guys, blah, blah, blah. This is the plan. Here's the polls. Half the people in the family were like, I can't see the poll. My phone's not updated. But and it has been a back and forth. And I was like, this is why I don't take charge like that. I'm like, because I have such good intentions and I'm like, I got this, guys. Then I'm like, nope, it crashed and burned and I give up. I literally just sent a GIF. It was the R2D2 falling on his face that I was like, I give up. I'm not doing this.
I can't tell you how many
Uh,
times I've laughed at that, even just thinking about it, because I know you tried. I
I
know
tried so
your
hard.
intention. And I didn't want to laugh, but everybody's making me laugh with their
Oh my
comebacks.
God.
I couldn't help it.
It was awful. So TBD, what's gonna happen on Thanksgiving, guys? I'm like, everyone just pick your own food. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But no, it's
Oh,
that like getting up that gumption to be like, okay, I'm gonna be assertive and I'm gonna
yes.
like get this done. And yeah. And when that falls apart, I'm like, well, I'm never doing that again. But gosh, no, I can in a different way I can relate and see how difficult that would be, especially with our family, because we are very introvert heavy and kind of like go with the flow. There's very few
Mm.
um, yeah, it's basically Niles and my mom that are the decision makers in our family. Um, and if they're gone, I don't know what we would do. We'd probably just never do anything ever again. But
Yeah,
yeah,
it's yeah, you always need that extrovert there
absolutely.
to, it's yeah.
Yeah,
Traveling with just introverts isn't
yeah,
it's not it.
yeah.
I've done
No,
it before and
yeah.
yeah.
It can be good in theory, but then in practice, you're like, well, this did not go well. Yeah,
No, exactly,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
That's so funny.
Oh my gosh. All right. And then after, like post trip, like what do you feel like you can finish a trip and then just like jump right back into reality? Do you need a little buffer time? Like what helps you kind of come down from like a longer vacation?
I think having routines in place at home that I can just kind of slide right back into is really
Yeah.
helpful. Um, yeah, so sometimes I'll come home from a trip and I'll, unload my own stuff and just be on it. And then sometimes the suitcase sits there for a while. It just really depends on what type of trip it was, how long it
Yeah.
was, jet lag,
Yep.
kids' ages.
Yep.
I always know that eventually we'll settle in, but I always do have a period of, I don't know, slight depression of just like coming back and getting into
Yes.
but once I'm into the routine and then it's like, okay. And then, so that's why having routines already in place
Yeah.
makes it easier to get into it.
Yes.
But how about you?
If it's up to me, I definitely prefer having a buffer day. Like, I do not like to come
Yeah.
home and then jump right back into, I need that time to like shift. When
Hmm.
we went to Australia, we came back. So there's obviously the time change and everything. Came
Yeah.
back the next day, flew to Arizona for a friend's wedding for like 3 or 4 days. Came home and I went back to work the next day, and that was stupid.
Wow.
And like our flight kept getting delayed coming home from Arizona, so it was so late. And I was just like so stressed. And I'm like, I have to go back to work tomorrow. And I was like,
Oh,
oh, like what am I gonna do? Like I'm gonna be home in time, but I'm not gonna get enough sleep. And I've been trip to trip to trip. And I didn't for sure know at the time, but I was like newly pregnant with Jane. So there was that element. Like it just was, I was
mm,
so like, oh, but yeah, I think having that buffer day. And it's funny, like if I'm planning ahead, like my job, we plan our vacations for a year. We all put in our days that we're going to be off and everything. So I
hmm.
have it a year in advance. I'm like, I don't know why I always felt guilty. Like, well, technically I'm only on my trip till Thursday, but I should probably take Friday off too. I like have this guilt of like, but I can't now. I'm like, they don't need to know where I'm at. Like, it does not
No,
matter. I just
it's
take the
not the
extra day. Again, it's so worth
right.
it for me. And I am a get home and unpack everything, and
Uh-huh.
I can't function with a suitcase living in that. I'm like, no, I just can't. Like,
Yeah.
but part of it too, Randall and I have kind of figured out whether it's parties at our house or going on a trip, like once the dust is settled, and if like he and I can just like be in go mode and like unpack, clean, do laundry, do whatever, like that's so fun and therapeutic for
Yeah.
us.
Uh-huh.
We've learned that like when people come over and they're like, "Oh, let me help you clean." I'm like, "Honestly, let me do it.
Yeah.
I will so enjoy just the time to do it by myself." So same thing
Yeah.
with like usually, if we do a vacation with the kids, come home like, all right, kids, you get a snack and you get to sit in front of the TV for a little bit while we get everything settled. So
Yeah.
it's I definitely need that um like immediate, like, okay, come home, resettle, and then time afterwards to kind of come back into reality. But yeah.
Yeah. And being a teacher and having the summer off, um, we tend to have lots of buffer time coming back.
Right.
But when I have too much, then I almost need some kind of routine to get me out of my vacation. I don't know that
Yes.
because like you go 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 and you just need a break and then you get a break and then you're like, oh, I need a routine again.
Yes.
So it's just funny the
Yep.
balance of going from one thing to another.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, I do like some buffer time too, but sometimes when I'm forced to get into it quick, then
Yeah.
it
You
helps
kind of
me.
don't have time
I
to
don't have time
think
to
about
think
it.
about it. I just
Yeah.
have to get it done.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm with you though on if there's a party, let me help you clean. I'm like, no, please. Do
Yeah.
not.
Yep.
I would rather do this later at my own pace
Yes.
with no one around. I do my
Yep.
best cleaning when nobody's around. So when
Yes.
everybody's gone, I can just do it in my own way, in my own pace.
Yep.
Um, you
We
know.
had friends over a couple weeks ago and we had like made dinner and stuff. And so we were I was chatting with my friend and we were hanging out in the kitchen and I was like, "Oh, I'll just like do some dishes while we're talking," you know. And I'm
Mhm.
like my brain just was like, "Where did these go?" What I'm like I could not focus on both. I was like, "How do I load my dishwasher? Where do
Oh
I
my
put my plates?" Like
gosh.
all everything just left my brain. I was like, "I'll just do it later. Never mind." I'm like, "I'm gonna just do it right now while we're talking." No. No,
Oh, that's
that did not
funny.
work. But oh my gosh. Okay, so do you have any trips or vacations coming up that you're looking forward to or planning, or has Niles not yet pulled the laptop out and prepped?
So we actually on spring break, we
Okay.
are tentatively planning to visit Alex
Oh, fun.
in
Cool.
Oklahoma. He will be back in school,
Okay.
but and then we talked about just maybe visiting some areas just around Oklahoma, and of course
Make
Niles
more of
will
a
be.
trip than you did
Yeah,
last time.
and
Actually, get
Niles
to
will
see
plan it
things.
all. I
Of
will,
course.
just document.
Yep.
And then this summer we are doing another EF tour. That's where we
Nice.
chaperone. It's not just high schoolers. I mean, it's a lot of high schoolers that go, but
Yeah.
anybody can really be on the trip. So there's a lot of, high schoolers with their parents or families, and you don't even
Yeah.
have to be going to the high school. You can just be a person
Yeah.
on the trip.
Yeah.
It's going to Ireland, England, and Scotland.
Nice.
And this will be our third one. And they're actually, I mean, they're not as probably relaxing as a regular
Right.
trip,
You have some
but it does
responsibility.
get you to places that you maybe, haven't gone before,
Right.
and things are very planned out. So, it's kind of nice in that sense. So we
Yeah.
have that, and then um yeah, I'm not sure
Cool.
beyond that,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
that's kind of what we have so far. How about you?
Yeah. Nothing like really big. I know like in the future, Randall and I will be married for 10 years, not this upcoming year, but the year after. We've talked about doing
Uh-huh.
something more like Mexico all-inclusive resort, that kind of thing, because
Nice.
we've never done that kind of a trip. And I'm like, that
Yeah,
sounds incredible. Like,
totally.
please, yes, like let me eat at all the fun restaurants and like swim up to the bar and get as many drinks as I like. That just sounds so
Yes,
nice. So hopefully in the future we'll have something like that. But
that'd be
upcoming,
cool.
we usually do our Monterey Gilroy Gardens trip for New Year's
Hmm.
because December 30th is our dating anniversary, which
Okay.
we would always celebrate because we would go. Randall took me to Monterey on our first date on December 30th back in
Yeah,
2014. And so every year we've gone back around that time. So now it's fun to like kind of include the kids. And now that
that'd be cool.
we love going to Gilroy Gardens, they do a fun New Year's Eve thing. So I think that's kind of our next, which isn't a huge trip, but going anywhere overnight with two small children
You know what? It
is, yeah,
enough said. It's
yes.
it's a lot with that age
Yes,
of
it's
kid.
getting easier. I feel like each trip I have to pack a little bit less and
Yes,
it's getting there, but no, it's I think that'll be our next thing, but yeah, I know we like to do some stuff over the summer or spring break, fall break, that kind of thing. But
that's
yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we kind of the last couple years, our friend Mark Rains, the one
Yes.
who we had an
Friend of the
interview with.
pod.
I know he listens. He goes to Monterey over Christmas break. That's his
Hmm.
tradition. And we have the last couple of years, like right after Christmas, like the day after, the 2 days after, we've gone to meet him because we
Yeah.
love Monterey too.
Yes.
So hoping to do that again this year.
Yeah.
We'll see
Yeah.
what life brings us
Yeah.
in December. But
Yeah.
also, I'm going to be turning 50 next year. And so
Yes.
I'm trying to plan a little girls' trip
Yep. Yep.
in the summer. So we'll keep you updated on that. I'm excited about
Yes.
that. And I'm having fun doing my little side hustles, on social media.
Hmm.
And if you see any of my posts where I'm promoting brands, I'm also doing it for this app called Kale. I think I've talked about it before.
Hmm.
And so I'm trying to see if I can earn enough to just pay for that trip with that
Hmm.
money. It's kind of a
That'd be cool.
challenge.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's kind
Yeah.
of fun to think about. And I can't
So
believe I'm
fun.
going to be 50, but anyway, and Niles and I will have been married 30 years.
Dang.
So these numbers are
Wow.
starting to just
Yeah.
like, wow, okay, that's us now. But
Yeah. Yeah.
here it
So
is.
crazy. So crazy. Happened so fast, but
I know, crazy.
oh man. Okay. So we can start wrapping it up here
Yeah.
with our awkward moment. What do you got for this week or month or however long it's been?
So I'm going to do two. I'm going to do a
Okay.
travel themed one, and then
Love
I'm
it.
going to do another one. So the travel themed one, it made me think back to we took a Baltic Sea cruise
Mm.
with my in-laws when it was their 50th wedding anniversary, and we visited lots of different countries. Um, I can't think of them all. But one of them was Russia.
Hmm.
And it was one of the days that we went was with a tour guide. Niles was sick, so we couldn't join us.
Yeah.
So already my comfort zone is not with me, and I'm in Russia, which was just a very different experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so we were with we were going to some castle or something, and there was a huge line of people, and they looked very irritated. And our tour guide was her personality was very like strong personality.
Yeah.
And she walks up to the people in the front, and she is full on arguing with them. I think it was about, hey, we have this tour guide, we have these tickets to get in.
Yeah.
That's what I'm guessing. And so she just huffs away, and she beckons us, come on, we can go in front of all these angry Russian people. I have
Oh
to
gosh.
walk by, and I wanted to die. I was like,
Yep.
I have never been so uncomfortable. And I'm looking around. Nope, no Niles. Okay, let's just
Yep.
do this. And I have little kids with me, so I have to
Yeah.
be it was
Be
the
in mom
most
mode.
awkward
Oh,
thing in my life. So that was a very painful
that's rough. That's rough.
gravel awkward moment. But most recent one was last week. So I directed my musical at my one of my schools last week. It went really
Hmm.
well. But during it, the kids on one of the songs, they were singing. They knew the words really well, and I'm doing hand motions in front of them.
Hmm.
Now they're not on risers, so not all of them can see me, but we've practiced it enough that
Yeah.
anyway, I'm singing it, and I start to hear them just start to sing a little bit faster. So I'm trying to do big motions, and
Yeah.
as they're going faster, my motions are bigger, and I'm trying to get them to slow down, and they go so fast, and they finish early, and I'm like, okay. And I'm doing this in front of a crowd who's looking at me going,
Oh no.
they are not watching her. So I was like, oh, it was
Oh my
kind of
gosh.
awkward.
That's rough.
And
Because you're
even
like, there's no, it's like a derailed train. There's no
it was
stopping it. It's
there was
happening.
no stopping it. And it didn't matter how big my hands were waving. They were just, I mean, they knew the words and were singing great. They just were going way too fast. And Riley said one of the teachers she works with at Enox
Hmm.
is a mom to someone in
Okay.
the musical. So she was there, and she told Riley, oh, I saw your mom. She goes, I saw her trying to wave her hands wildly, and the kids were just.
Doing their own thing. Yep. Yep.
I laugh about it. And I talked to
Uh,
them in between, and I wasn't mad. I'm like,
yeah.
it's a great. I go, you just watch me. And the second
Yes.
time was much better. But anyway, it's
Yes.
just that feeling where you're like, I can't stop this.
Yep. Yep.
So it's
Oh
a
my gosh.
tad bit awkward. But anyway.
Yes.
So how
Oh,
about you?
okay. I have to now that you said you had to travel, and I got to share my travel one.
Yeah.
When we first got to Australia, of course, 15 hours on the flight, jet lagged, like new country, you come out of a
Uh-huh.
plane and you're like, what day is it? What time is it? Where am I? And we get to, they said like, oh, there's going to be a car to pick you up, whatever. I'm expecting like an Uber, but it was like a formal official man in a suit with a sign that said Mr. and Mrs. Blythe at the air. It was like, is there another Blythe? Is this for us? Like, oh my
For
gosh,
me?
like it was so cool. I think his name was Bob.
Wow.
He was
Super
hilarious.
fancy.
He's
Love it.
telling us his stories of all the celebrities he's driven. He talked about driving. It was like Liam Hemsworth, like, yeah, I took him to a private plane and Miley was out there and blah when they were together and he'd talk about this and we're like, okay, Bob, like this is cool. So we had a
Wow.
great time. He took us to our first hotel and we get to the hotel before we could check in. So we knew we were gonna just like have to drop our stuff off, walk around until we could check in.
Yeah.
And I was like, Bob was so nice, and I know they don't tip, but I'm tipping him because we had such a good time. So I'm like on my phone and like, okay, what would be the appropriate amount to tip? And then translate it to, their money and like doing all that stuff. So I was like in the zone. So we,
Yes.
tip well. We're like, okay, thanks. Get into get into the hotel. Literally the first stop in all of Australia. And I look at Randall and I was like, I left my passport in the car. And I knew I'm not gonna run after. I literally was like,
No.
Randall, run to the car. I forgot my passport.
Oh man.
So he barely made it before he left, but I was like, what would I have done? Like, we've been in Australia for 20 minutes and I've misplaced my passport. So I felt like such an idiot. So
Uh,
for the rest of the trip, I was like not letting this out of my sight. But yeah,
it
that
was
was rough. Okay, my
uh,
other one is kind of on behalf of my dad because this
yes.
was just such a funny moment. So we had met up with my parents. We were going to hang out at their house, but we met up at In-N-Out for lunch when we first got there.
Yeah.
We're all sitting and like, there's like all the like tables of like four. So we have a couple tables next to each other. We've got the kids.
Yeah.
It's the newer In-N-Out in Modesto by their
Hmm.
house. And there was an employee there, super sweet, but very like enthusiastic, talking to everyone. Oh, have you been here before? Is this your first time? Really, really nice.
Yeah.
Interacted with the kids, like, hey, I'm gonna go get you guys In-N-Out hats and the little like booklets they give them with the stickers and whatever. So he was standing behind us. Me and my dad are sitting next to each other. Our back is to this guy and he's talking. And then he turns around, starts talking to the table behind us. And, I kind of can see out of the corner of my eye that he has walked away, but my dad has not seen that this guy has walked away. So then at that moment, my mom walks up and, like, from behind puts her arms around my dad. And he looks at me with the most, like, fear in his eyes because he thought it was the In-N-Out employee. And
Oh.
he just looked at me like, help. And I'm like, what did mom do? Like, what is wrong with you?
Oh my
But
gosh, that's
it
hilarious.
was, he doesn't get like rattled like that very often, but seeing
Yeah.
pure panic in his face was so
Oh man.
funny. Like, he was like, yeah, that guy was friendly. So I just assumed he just put his arms around me. I was like, this is too much. But it was,
Oh,
it was
that's
so funny. It was
hilarious.
so funny. But
Oh
yeah,
my
that was,
gosh.
that was great. That was a great moment.
That's a
Oh
good
man.
one.
And then, what do you have for a recommendation?
I have a few. So I
Okay.
have a
Me too.
couple.
We're on the same wavelength today. I love it.
Yes, I love it. Yeah, sometimes I'm like, what am I going to recommend? But this, I'm like, I got a few.
Yep.
So I want to recommend a couple of shows, and I'm not sure
Okay.
if I recommended this one before. I meant to look back on our episodes, but
Yep.
Slow Horses on Apple
Ah,
is
yeah, yeah, yeah.
such a good show. Like
Okay.
really good. Niles and I are both loving it, and it's
Hmm.
hard for us to find a show that we
You're both, yeah.
both into, but
Yeah.
it is so good. So I recommend that. And then I'm going to piggyback on your recommendation and recommend The Pit because that is
Yes.
so good. I'm not
Yay.
finished. I still have like five
Okay.
episodes left, but I am
It's
absolutely
amazing.
hooked. And so
Ah,
it brings me back to my old days of ER, which Riley was also
yes.
on, and that was the
Yes.
time period where there's Seinfeld and Friends, and it was Thursday night
Yep.
TV, and it was a big deal. And
Yeah.
so it's just fun to find a drama again that just gives you that.
Yes. And I love that they've been releasing when the season was out, one episode at a time, once a
Yeah.
week. As much as like binge watching is fun, I'm like, I truly miss, like you said, an intense drama like that you're like, I have to wait a week and see what's next. Like that's so much fun. And I
Yes.
love that they've kind of started doing that again.
And, even though they're all out, my life's so busy that I end up watching like one a
Yeah.
week because that's
It's
all I have
perfect.
time for. But that one's
Uh,
been fun. And then I have a
yes.
food recommendation. So I've been obsessed with uh this girl on TikTok. She's from
Hmm.
Korea and
Okay.
she goes to 7-Eleven and it's called Girl Dinner and she gets
Yes.
ramen and all this stuff. And I'm just like, I'm hooked on watching her. So I watch her make her ramen. So she adds lots of stuff to it, but
Yeah.
what she does is she warms it up and then she drains the liquid from the lid. She pokes holes in the top
Okay.
and then she buys string cheese. She rips it up
Ooh.
and then puts it in there. And then she squeezes this stuff in there. And I still don't know what it is. I don't know if
Okay.
it's like a someone in the comments said it's like corn mayo or I don't know, something. And then she microwaves it and stirs it up and it's all cheesy. And so
Ooh.
anyway, I saw that they had similar the Buldak Ramen
Yeah.
packs at Costco. And so I
Okay.
bought some. And I've had those before, like in
Okay.
they're the ramen packet
Yeah, yeah,
looking
yeah.
things. They're super spicy. I could barely
Yeah.
handle it, but I'm like, okay, what if I add like her two string cheeses? Well,
Yes.
first I cook it in the liquid and then I was going to poke the holes and I look on the top and there's actually specific holes for the
Okay.
chopsticks. I'm like, oh,
Nice.
that's like, so I drained it. I add the two cheese sticks, melt it. And Niles is like, are you going to be able to, handle that? Because on the other ones, you couldn't, you
Yeah.
might have to add like sour cream. Well, anyway, I stir it up, I take a bite, and I'm like, oh, maybe that's a good idea. So I squeezed a little sour cream in. Anyway,
Nice.
mixed it up, and it was so good. And I don't know, it's so Buldak ramen in those like
Okay.
cups, and add some string cheese and
Nice.
maybe
Isn't
some.
it the best when like things you see on the internet actually taste good in the way you're expecting? When you're like,
Yes,
okay, this works. Because you're like, is someone just hyping this up? Is this real? Do I have the right ingredients? But oh, that's
yes.
so satisfying.
And I even like use chopsticks, even though
Yep.
I'm not great with them. And I just felt like, oh, I'm kind of like,
Yep.
I think her name's Serena on TikTok
Yes.
with my ramen.
I love
Anyway,
it.
so but it was so
I
good.
love
So I
it.
had fun with that.
Oh
So
my
how about
gosh.
you?
Okay, I have two random food recommendations because
Okay.
I ate so much of them so quickly that I'm like, okay, I have to share. I don't know if they have them anymore, if it was seasonal, but Costco had these marshmallow crispy cookies,
Oh,
and
I've
they
seen
were,
those.
oh my gosh, if you like Rice Krispie treats, these were, so they have like brown butter in them and the
Mm.
marshmallows, and then on the ingredients it said it has almost like the Rice Krispie cereal. It's like there's a little bit of a
Ooh.
crunch texture and it's that
Uh-huh.
flavor and the brown butter just
Mm.
so good. I ate so many of those. Usually when we buy like a dessert from Costco, I'm like, we're never gonna finish. Oh, we
Yeah.
finished that box. Oh my gosh, they were incredible. So I'm highly recommend. Like I brought them to
Yeah.
my parents and Randall's parents. I'm like, you guys, I was probably really annoying pushing cookies on everyone, but I'm like, they're so good. So those are
I've seen
definitely,
those and I've seen them a few times and I
yeah.
almost bought them last time, but I didn't. But now that I hear you,
I was
I'm gonna
gonna say if they're still at your Costco,
do it.
you need to grab those because they were amazing.
Mm.
The other thing that oh, so good. So I love pickles. I am a
Hmm.
pickle girly through and through. Grillo's is my preferred. Like those are the best pickles ever. Like
Uh-huh.
they're the best. They make a little dip called Pickle de Gallo. So it's
Uh-huh.
like a play on Pico de Gallo. So it's got
Gotcha.
like pickles. You really can't like they're really finely chopped. They've got some onion, some garlic, and some there's red. So I think it's red pepper, which I don't like red pepper, but the flavor
Uh-huh.
you can't really tell.
Yeah.
So good. Like tortilla chips with
Mm.
that. Like I always just get it if we have people over. I'm like, it's such an easy crowd pleaser kind of dip.
Yeah.
But I want to like put it on a sandwich, put it on a hot dog. Like it's just the right kind
Ooh.
of crunchy and like the vinegary, the pickle. It's so good. So that's it makes me want to go get some right now. But yeah,
And
I love
where do
it.
you find that? Like it just at your
Just
grocery
grocery store.
store?
Yeah.
Okay.
A Save Mart is where we usually find it. So
Is it
pretty
in the
much
cold section?
it is. It's
Okay.
usually with the pickles. So anywhere that has
Oh, okay.
Grillo's pickles should have there. And I think I've seen the big ones at Costco before. Not all the time, but
Okay.
I have seen it. But pickle de
Hmm.
gallo.
That sounds good.
Yes. Yes. But man, now I'm hungry and want to go on vacation. So
I know. Yes, same,
dang
same,
it.
man.
We need to like do an episode about introverts on good routines and dieting or something, and then we'll
Right.
like, okay, now we want to do this. But
Yes, yes.
oh man. Well, thank you guys again for listening.
Yes.
We love putting these episodes out for you. We
Hmm.
love to know that you enjoy them or if there's things that you want us to talk about, always feel free to let us know on our socials or message us directly because again, we know a lot of you know us personally. So,
Yeah,
let us
and give
know.
us give our episodes or our posts a share and if you haven't reviewed us yet, give us a review. It helps us
Yep.
get seen on Apple platform
Mm-hmm.
especially.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we always love feedback and hearing from you and yeah, we just have so much
Yeah.
fun
Yes.
doing
We
these
love it.
episodes and yeah, so thanks for joining us.
Yeah, we'll see you next time. Bye.